right? The goal of operations is to scale our company. The amount of shit that needs to get done in your business is an exponential curve.
There's a magic phrase, and I see that a lot when you start hitting stage 3. And this was for me, and I learned my best stuff from law firms, but it was like the magic phrase of, "Hey, do you got a minute? You got a minute?" And then when you have a team of like 40 people or 50 people or more, some of you guys got even bigger teams than that. But for me, my team is about 40 people. I basically like have 40 people at least twice a day go, "Hey, do you got a minute?" You multiply it by like 80 requests, and then you multiply that by the number of clients who say, "Hey, you got a minute?" And there's this giant like clusterfuck of all day long of just barrage of incoming, and you don't realize it, but you're the bottleneck in all of that, and nobody can make decisions, 100%. And you don't trust other people to make those decisions, so you want to have like a hand in everything, and then everything slows down because of you, and you just feel like everybody's incompetent around you, but it's really you.
Let me give you a very painful example of this. I had a client, they were doing 400K months. It was an agency. The COO was absolutely that person, right? Nothing on the back end of the business could move forward without him, to the point that they literally had to turn off sales. They had turned them off by the time I was in there, because sales couldn't bring any new clients through the door without him needing to personally handle everything. And he was absolutely maxed out. Within 3 months, we had gone from that situation to him literally getting like voluntarily fired from his own business because he realized that he didn't want to be in the day-to-day. We had completely escalated and elevated him out of everything, and he was able to retire to a board of advisors position, right? So it's, people find themselves in that place of like, oh, everything has to be done by me, and I'm here to tell you that it doesn't. You just need the operational backing to make that not the case, right? It's optional. There's a choice there. You just need to learn how to do differently.
Yeah. And I find usually when you hit that stage unknowingly, you're doing everything reactively, like people are bringing you shit. And actually to get to that point, you had been very proactive. But now, because you can't do everything yourself, it requires a team. And so you just react to everything incoming. And 80-20 says, like, the vast majority of it doesn't even contribute to the bottom line. "Hey, boss, lost my password. Can you get me into this site? Hey, what do you like, the yellow or the green?" And the reality is, like, who cares? Like, it doesn't make any fucking difference to the bottom line. Like, I trust your judgment. Just pick, whatever color. And then what ends up happening is you spend all day like chipping away at trivial shit that doesn't move the needle. And then the big important shit, you're like, why can't we make headway in the big important shit? And almost always I find you have to like kind of almost take the reins back. And I learned from lawyers, they would say manage by KPIs, where like we need to know like where we're at on the important stuff. And KPIs, by the way, just so you guys know, aren't entirely sales numbers. Everybody thinks that those are interchangeable, but they're also delivery side. Like, how quick are we getting people onboarding? How quick are we getting campaigns? What numbers are we hit? How are we, like, when's the last time we messaged that client? Are they happy with us? Those kind of things. But if you mismanage those things, and almost always it just starts coming out reactively, and you're just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of, like, I don't want to say nonsense, but like tiny little pieces that don't really matter. So let's talk about pillar number 3. Sorry, it sounds like you got something you want to say. Go ahead.
Well, I would just add, like, let's just think about this mathematically, because you're absolutely right, right? The goal of operations is to scale our company. The amount of shit that needs to get done in your business is an exponential curve. Every new client, every new team member, every new decision, like all of that just stacks and stacks and stacks. And there's just more and more stuff to get done every single day. That's growth. That's the reality. We can't do anything about that. But if everything is reliant on you, your time and energy is a fixed amount. There is only so many hours you have in the day. There's only so many good decisions you can make. There's only so much energy you can bring to bear in your business. And so where people break is at this equilibrium where the business is just demanding more from them than they can literally give. And at that point, guys, if you're there, or if you feel like you're getting close to there, you have a couple of choices. You can try and ride this curve. That leads to burnout. Wouldn't recommend. You can cap the growth of your business, or your business will cap it for you, where you just flatline the business because you literally can't handle anymore. I've seen a lot of people do that. Or we get to team, you figure out how to delegate. You figure out how to genuinely not just get tasks off your plate, but genuinely transfer ownership to your team so that things can start to happen without you. It's a hard learning curve, but it's a skill. It's a skill like every other skill that you've learned in your business so far. You just got to show up to it, tackle the learning curve, and figure it out.
Just so you guys know, it's a skill that personally I feel like is my weakest point in the whole thing. But you do get less awful at it over time. So for those of you guys who it's not like a strength, part of it is just even understanding what you're aiming for. Like a lot of times you're blind to the things that you're doing and you don't realize it. Like I said, it took for me seeing well-run law firms to go, oh, that's what the level past me looks like, right? It's like I see how they're able to do more because the owner has been removed, so he can just show up once a week and say, hey, I got this one big idea that I want us to implement and give it to his team instead of being and it blew my mind because I would see, like, one of my mentors comes to mind is he spends most of his day like golfing and fishing, and he would come up with ideas while golfing and fishing. And then he'd get off the boat with his like notepad and he'd fax it to the office, and then he'd come in for a Friday meeting and like how we making out with this new thing we're implementing. And it blew my mind that like, they were doing about 3.5 million a year, which he's since like tripled. But I'm like, really? Like, you're 5 hours a day I see you work. The rest of the day you're just like golfing. Like, how can you do that? And obviously he was very operationally strong, but it took him as well like 20 years to kind of figure it out. Let's talk pillar number 4, communication, because this becomes, especially the bigger and bigger the team or a system you're building gets, the more and more this becomes important. When you got like just one you and 5 clients, this may not be like a make or break detail, but if you want to make that number 50 or 500, even as some of our friends in this community have, or some even past that, you don't get there without having some kind of like communication. And usually this is, at least in my experience, an infrastructure thing. Like, how do you even communicate amongst team members, as well as how do you communicate with clients? Like, those are almost 2 separate genres of the same kind of thing. But if you don't have like a formulated way of doing that, like, it's going to be chaos.
Yep. And I would focus more on the latter, right? Like, communication with clients is overall pretty simple. Give them one channel, don't let them stray outside the channel, run everything through it. That's honestly fairly easy to optimize. What is hard is internal communication, because let's just put it this way. Any time spent talking is time not spent doing. You can treat any time spent talking on a meeting, in Slack, after hours, right? Like, how often is your Slack channel blowing up right now? Let's be honest. How many meetings are you stuck in every single day? All of that time is time that's being taken up to talk about stuff, as opposed to actually do stuff. Do the things that will drive revenue and growth to your business. Now, there's a reason for meetings. There's a way to have good meetings. But at a baseline, in my experience, under operationalized businesses are just talking way more than they need to, because they don't have any of the infrastructure that automates that communication. Let me give you an example in the agency space. So I have seen so many agencies where they have like a daily client success huddle. And it started as like a 15-minute huddle with the solopreneur and their VA. And then they never changed it. And now they have a team of 5 and they have 30 clients. And now they're hopping on every single day. And that call was 15 minutes, but now it's 2 hours. And they're just running down the list of clients every single day saying, where are we at with this person? Where are we at with this person? What does this client need? Did that get done? Oh, we haven't gotten that done yet. Okay, please get that done. And then let's talk about it tomorrow, right? That meeting, guys, 100% unnecessary.
Yeah.
There is literally no part of that meeting that needs to happen. And you're spending an hour a day across 5 people, across 5 days a week, across 50 weeks a year to talk about things that are completely unnecessary, when all of that time could be reallocated towards your account managers getting on client calls and upselling them, towards your media buyers actually just optimizing ads. And so, like, how that manifests as far as profit, when I ran an agency, the average account manager in our space can probably handle 30 to 40 client accounts. My account managers were handling between 80 to 100 accounts. I literally doubled the productivity of the team, and as a business owner had half the labor costs, because my team wasn't spending time talking. They were spending time just doing their job.
Guys, if you like this video, you're also going to want to grab some free bonuses, which you can get at our website, Beyond Agency Profits. To make it easy for you, I've put the links to it in the description of this video, as well as pinned in the top comment. And we've got a couple of awesome things. This is what you'll get after you sign up. You get some of our best training, how we're closing clients over Loom videos, how we sometimes sign clients that is not a misprint for under $5 US, how to demonstrate your value in like amazing ways, trainings, how to have your clients write the best copy of your life, how we're closing without phone calls, campaigns that we've generated for clients that have done over $100,000, as well as scripts you can use to get conversations going with clients in under 10 minutes. All you got to simply do is go there, enter your name and email address, and then this is what you'll see on the other side. So if that's interesting to you, make sure to click the links below, and I will see you on the other side.